Pray. Loving Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for the gift of life and salvation and for all you've done for us. As we're going for this lesson, we pray that we'll understand everything. In Jesus' name I've prayed. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Faith. You're all welcome to this lesson. I want to welcome the teachers. I want to thank those who keep time and to urge those who come in late to try and keep time. The lesson starts at exactly 10:30. So you should be in class at least 5 minutes to 10:30, okay? Who remembers what we looked at last time? Oh, Petra?
We looked at writing adverts.
Okay, so we looked at writing adverts. Did you people design your adverts? By a show of hands, who thinks they designed the best advert? Oh, there is no one. Okay, so I want to assume that all of us attempted the assignment. If you haven't attempted it, just know work is piling. Before you know it, you'll not be able to complete the work given. So please always attempt the work given. So what makes a good advert? Very fast. What makes a good advert? Vivian, Sandra? She has forgotten. Naguja, Taupista?
Teacher, an eye-catching headline or like title.
Okay, thank you very much. Divine, Grace?
It should be brief and precise.
Brief and precise, okay. Apio, Grace?
Teacher, a persuasive language. A persuasive language.
Martha, you have disappeared. Kahuga, Charity?
A conclusion that evokes action like come one, come all.
Okay.
Buy one, get two.
Okay, thank you very much. I think Sharon Rose.
A good advert should be creative.
Okay, so that it is unique. Okay, I'm taking only one last hand. You people really learned. Eunice?
A good advert should have a grabbing headline.
Okay, the catchy title that has been mentioned though. Okay, so thank you very much. That is what we looked at last time. Okay, so we can now put our hands down so that we get into something new for today. Teachers, you're welcome. I can see Teacher Irene, Teacher Julie, and Teacher Prosty. I could be expecting more teachers. So girls, we really have all our teachers on board. Feel free to ask a question in the chat, put up your hand when you have a question. And if you need more assistance, please don't hesitate to tell us. I'm going to be sharing my screen, so the other teachers will be handling your hands and questions, okay? In today's lesson, I want to see if I can get people to guess what we are going to look at, okay? You people have already cheated exams, so the question is not valid. Someone is peeping at what is going to happen. But we have an image on screen that I want someone to talk to me about. What do you see in the picture? What do you think is happening? What do you see? Just a moment. What do you see in the picture? Teacher Percy, Teacher Irene, any hands? I can't see the hands. Teacher Ju,
Okay, Nachigude Gladys. Nachigude.
Teacher Irene, you'll have to ask them to unmute.
Teacher, I see a woman, maybe she's writing a letter to someone.
Okay, thank you very much.
Alicia Kasozi. Alicia, unmute.
She's thinking about what to write.
Person thinking about what to write. Okay. Any
Louis
other hand?
Kwagala. Louis Kwagala. You can unmute.
I see a girl thinking about something and holding a pen, probably going to write something.
Okay, thank you so much. I take another hand. Probably
Just
the last one. Okay,
Yes.
Narule.
Teacher, I think the girl is daydreaming.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I am surprised no one is seeing the environment. We are all about this girl, but you people have given the right answers, because we see this girl holding a pen, then there is a piece of paper, then she's probably thinking about what to write. The last person said she's daydreaming, but it is evident that she's all about writing something, okay? Which brings me back to our question, what are we looking at? Or which aspect is most likely to come up as we look at this image? Shireen, just two hands.
Okay. A crown. Crown. Okay, let me get Sharon Rose. Crown is gone off. Sharon?
Maybe letter writing.
Okay. Atwine, you're the last. Okay, Atwine has gone off. Aine, Mirab.
I think she's like writing a poem about the environment.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Teacher Irene. Okay, I just want to see if the person who said letter writing got it right. So I want us to look at letter writing in this lesson, okay? I don't want to assume, by show of hands, how many people have written or received or read a letter before? Just put up your hand. Teacher Irene, are there people who have?
Yes, there are quite many.
Oh,
Over
so it's not a new subject, right? So put your hands down. That means you people know a lot to do with letter writing. So it is what we are going to look at in this lesson. But before we proceed, I have a question for you. You people have said you've received letters before, you've written letters before. To whom did you write the letter? Have you written a letter? Yes. To whom? What was the letter about? Shireen, could we take about 3 hands?
Nanyanzi or Hosanna?
Yes, teacher. I remember when we were in P5, our English teacher told us to write letters to our P4 teachers, like formal letters. Formal letters to our P4 teachers.
Thank you.
Okay.
Joy Mary.
I have ever written a letter to like my mother, maybe wishing her a happy birthday. And once there was a time in P7 where our stream had misbehaved, so they had told us straight and a formal letter to our teachers apologizing.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, so you're
Lastly,
actually mentioning.
Teacher Debbie.
Yes, Teacher Irene.
Okay,
I had someone mention that they were asked to write a letter, a formal letter to their teacher. So that one has introduced something new, which is formal. So girls, how many types of letter writing do you know? How many types of letters have you heard of? For example, I am already hearing formal letters.
Okay, Arayo.
There are two types of letters, that is formal letters and informal letters.
Thank you so much.
She has answered the question. Thank you very much. So it means that we already know a bit to do with formal letters and informal letters. In your own words, what do you think a letter is? How would you define a letter?
Okay. Crown.
Okay, I think a letter is a written type of printed communication sent from one person to another.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Crown. One more person.
Jemima. Jemima is not there. Emily.
I think a letter is a written piece of information sent from one person to another.
Okay, thank you very much, girls. So we know that it is written communication. We know that it is usually from one person to another. Another person actually mentioned that it can be printed, a printed message, okay? So we are saying a letter is written communication from one person to another, or it is a written or printed message on a piece of paper, okay? And there are two types of letters we have mentioned. These are the informal letters and the formal letters, okay? Now, in this slide, what we are looking at is what we have actually seen already, okay? So not mind what is coming up. So we are proceeding. You have talked about the formal and informal letters, and now I am very sure you people have some information about them. So my question is, what do you know about an informal letter? What do you know about an informal letter?
Okay, that's a good Gladys.
An informal letter, we write it when we are like writing to our family and friends, like something that is not so much official.
Thank you very much.
Emily Nicole. Emily Nicole. Emily. Okay, Emily is not there. Vanessa.
I know that in an informal letter, you shouldn't like write the other person's address, since it's like maybe a friend or a family member.
Okay, Vanessa, but you write your own address?
Yes, you do.
Okay, thank you very much. Teacher Irene, do we have more hands?
Yes, we do. Our D for crown.
Okay, teacher, I think an informal letter is a letter that has a friendly or unofficial style. A letter with a friendly or unofficial style.
Okay. Thank you, Crown. So friendly. Another person said a person close to you or a person known to you. Do we have more hands? Just one?
Katasi, Trinity.
I think can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
I think an informal letter is basically written to like maybe your friends, family members, people who you take to be so close. That is how it differs from a formal letter. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Teacher Irene, those answers are all right.
Okay.
So people have told us that it is usually to a person that is close to you. So informal letters can also be known as personal letters or friendly letters, okay? So you are writing to a person, either a friend, a relative, a person you know, family, parents, they are close to you, okay? Someone even went ahead and said that you don't have to be too official when writing such a letter. And another one mentioned that we only have the address of the sender because the person they're writing to already knows them, okay? Which brings me to parts of an informal letter, okay? Parts of an informal letter. When we say parts of an informal letter, we're talking about those things that make an informal letter. You know, when we're writing something, there is a procedure we follow. We do not just write things out of the blue, or you do not write, for example, are we going to write a report as we write this letter to a friend? Not possible, okay? So I want you to take me through what you think we would require in writing a friendly, personal, or informal letter, okay? Teacher Irene, do we have hands? Do they know these things? They say I had written letters.
Okay. Paul, Hannah.
Teacher, the first part of an informal letter is the address, the writer's address.
Oh, thank you very much. I was waiting to hear that. So it is the writer's address. Someone said we don't need to have two addresses. That is of the writer and the one is going to receive. So we'll only need one address. And we are saying we usually write this address on the top right-hand corner of the page, okay? Normally written in an indented form. What is an indented form? I don't know whether you people have written this before. And before I proceed, I want to emphasize that we are now dropping our primary knowledge of letter writing, okay? There are going to be a few changes here and there that I need us to take note of, okay? In the indented form, this address is slanting. So from the first, for example, address like your school, Gayaza High School, the next thing will come after the first letter. So they keep slanting as we later on see, okay? Teacher Irene, what other parts do they know of?
Excuse me, teacher.
Yes, please.
May you please give an example of the writer's address you're explaining? Like, what do you mean by slanting?
I am saying when we talk about slanting for indented form, we are simply referring to...
Don't have Lugamba.
Would you kindly mute so that we are not interrupted?
I was lying. Huh.
Teacher Irene, I was saying that the address is slanting. When, for example, you have Gayaza High School, what follows Gayaza High School is it's PO box or box number. The P will fall under A. So where you have GA, the next word or the next line will be slightly ahead of the first one, but we'll see that later, okay, in a sample. So any other parts?
Teacher, the salutation.
Okay, salutation, the date is written below the writer's address. We'll be looking at all these later. I felt like I was losing you people. So I don't know whether I am audible. Mrs. Kavuma?
Oh, we can hear you,
I
Teacher
can
Debbie.
hear you, Teacher Debbie. I'm here.
Okay. So so far we have the writer's address. We've talked about the date here, the salutation. What haven't we mentioned? What are those things that you think are missing?
Charity. Charity. Okay.
The introduction.
The introduction. What do you mean by introduction, Charity? Could you elaborate?
Like introduction is where you greet the person. You can say, "It's long since I heard from you. How are you?" Such things.
Okay, thank you very much. So after the salutation, of which I had forgotten to mention that the salutation is usually from the margin on the left, okay? The dear who, darling, so and so, dear mommy, because we've said they're all close people to us, okay? So that dear comes on the left hand side from the margin, okay? So we don't leave space away from the margin. We do not skip lines, okay? So I'll keep repeating that until it sinks, okay? So someone has said there is an introduction, which I believe falls under the body. And we've said that the body is composed of several paragraphs, with the first one including the reason for writing. And this is the paragraph a person is referring to as the introductory paragraph. So the person will greet. You don't want to start from out of the blue when talking to a friend. At least you greet. You want to find out how they're doing, okay? And then it is that body or the information message we're sending that we are calling the body. It is not this our body and body parts. The body is the message in the letter, okay? And it is composed of different paragraphs. For example, someone talked about introduction, greeting, and the reason for writing. Then the point of your letter, okay? The points of your letter would follow. Is that all that makes an informal letter? Shireen, do you still have hands?
Okay. Yes, we do. Chirabo Pal Hannah.
And next we have the conclusion.
Okay, thank you very much. So she says that the letter should have a conclusion. Okay, thank you very much. So you don't just close off. You somehow say something that shows that you are closing. Okay, so there is one other thing that we need to really take note of, and that is using clear language, okay? This may not be too official, but you do not want to write things that cannot be understood by the reader. Some of us have slang that we feel like if we are writing to a friend, even in an exam, we are at liberty to use the slang. But does your teacher understand the slang? So you have to use a language that is clear, okay? Teacher Pressy.
Teacher Pressy is coming.
Okay. So as we wait for Teacher Pressy, I'm going to give you five minutes, could be a lot, about minutes two for each slide. I need you to look carefully at the slides, okay? You see those words are going to come in one by one so that you really pay attention. I need you to tell me what is wrong with a letter. How do we make this letter right? Okay, so there we go. First of all, we have Gayaza High School, we have Kampala, we have PO Box 70929, we have the date this side. Then this person starts their letter like, oh, I miss being with you during the holidays this year. Everything in my school is different from what it was in primary school. I don't know if I'll ever get used to living here. I'm so glad that O-level doesn't last for many years like primary. After my senior 4, I'll have to get an A-level school in my home area. Dear Jane, that is all for now. I must start on my homework for English class tomorrow. The teacher wants us to write about how we spent the holidays. Please write soon and tell me all the news. I miss you. In fact, Fiona, I have tickets for Judith Babidia's concert next month. I wish you were coming with us. Life is very different here. Lots of love. Okay. Now you may think the letter has ended, but please just hold on. There is more to the letter, okay? I've already made some very nice friends, but don't worry. No one could ever replace you as my best friend. After school, I sometimes go to my friend Fiona's house. Would you believe that we have to wear a uniform even over the weekends? It is a black and blue skirt and blazer, a ridiculous checked tie, not to mention a pair of horrible long white socks. It's awful. Besides, there is nothing to do in the evening since the school has no co-curricular activities. Okay, so I don't know whether you people have checked the essence and you could really just take me through what is wrong with the letter, okay? Rearrange the letter above to make sense. To me, it does not make sense, okay? So we have another question, but before we go to the question, I need us to just look at the letter again, okay? Just look at the letter again and tell me what comes where.
Okay, Teacher Deborah, can I take hands?
Yes, please, thank you.
Okay. We have Queen Esther. Queen, unmute.
Teacher, she didn't write the address at the top right hand corner, and he also didn't write it in indented form.
Okay, that is one particular thing that we have noted so far. The address is really disorganized, okay? So we have Gayaza High School, we have Kampala on the right-hand side, then we have a disorganized PO box on the other side, then we have the date this side, okay? It is really not making sense.
Okay,
Okay,
Vivian
thank you.
Sandra, you can unmute yourself.
The date is not below the writer's address. Which it is.
Okay, the writer's address is not where it's supposed to be. Teacher Debbie? She has said that the writer's address is not where it's supposed to be.
Okay, it is not where it's supposed to be. So, but someone had mentioned where it is supposed to be. So, could we first continue for now? Girls, I need you to take note because at the end, I'm going to require you to rearrange this letter in your book. And I'm not giving you the answer now. I'll only give it to you next week after I am sure everyone has tried it out. So we are going to post this work on Google Classroom. I need you to rearrange this letter so that it makes sense, okay? What else is not right about this letter?
Okay, Daniela Sechilai, you can unmute. Daniela is, okay, we can get another person. Akisa Abigail. Akisa, you can unmute. Akisa. Teacher Debbie, are you?
Yes, Teacher Irene, we are getting you. I guess the girls are failing to unmute.
Okay, let me get Nachigude Gladys.
Okay.
Nachigude.
Yes, teacher. The salutation, it should, where it is, it should not be written. It should be written up here near the left margin.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay. Do you think the body is organized? Remember, we talked about the body being the message in the letter. Is it organized? Should we start with should we start the way we start and have conclusive remarks in the middle and then continue? We could mention which paragraph you want to come first, second, so that we try to organize the body as well.
Nalubega Esther.
Yes, teacher. I don't think the body is properly organized. Like that first paragraph, the one right below the date, it should come. I think it should come after the salutation.
Okay, thank you. That is very true. So it should come after the salutation. What else do we see? Please, let's try to be fast so that we are able to finish up.
Vivian Sandra. Vivian Sandra, unmute.
The conclusion has come before the other part of the body. So the other part of the body is supposed to come before the conclusion.
Okay, thank you so much. We can get another person, probably the last one. Chirabo Pearl.
Teach in the date, the August is beginning with a small letter, and after the paragraph of the introductory paragraph, I think the paragraph which talks about the school not having co-curricular activities next.
Okay, Mrs. Kavuma, if there are any questions, I would like the girls to try out organizing the letter on their own. We'll be giving the answer next week so that we see if all of us have written the same letter. Okay, Mrs. Kavuma, anything?
Nothing really. I think everything has been covered. Unless there are other questions that the girls would like to ask. Otherwise, I have nothing to say.
Okay, girls, do we have questions at this point?
Nachigude Gladys is okay. Chirabo Hope, is your hand up? Chirabo. Okay, Kahunga Charity. Any question? Please unmute. Okay, Charity, we shall get back to you later. Petra. Petra, you can unmute again.
Excuse me, teacher. Teacher, I was asking. Excuse me, teacher.
Let's first get a question from Petra. Charity, you will be the next one.
So, like the way we write the address.
Excuse me, teacher.
Charity.
We write the.
Petra, you can ask. Sorry.
When we're writing the address, the writer's address up, now when we're concluding, like writing yours truly and stuff, is this also supposed to be in the right hand side, like where you also wrote the address, like on the other side of the page?
Okay. Deborah, let me hope. Should I first take sorry, teacher Deborah, should I first take the questions at once?
I think we could answer one by one so that they
Okay.
get done. So
Okay.
was that Petra?
Petra was asking, where do we write the signing off?
Okay, so we sign off on the left-hand side where our address is, okay? So you're still owning your address. You therefore sign off on the left-hand side, okay? I hope I've answered, Petra.
Okay, thank you so much. Charity, you have a question? Kahuga Charity. Okay, Nachigude Gladys. Nachigude, unmute.
Is it that in the okay, I'm asking, is it that in the whole letter we do not skip any lines, like no line skipping?
The only line we are allowed to skip is the line between the address and the date. Okay?
Yes, teacher.
Yes. And the date is usually aligned with the first address name. So if you wrote your Gayaza High School, the date will start on the same margin as Gayaza High School. Remember the PO box is a little further. That is under letter A, okay? But I am going to send you out, as you can see in the question you have. I was deliberate in not doing the work for you because I need you to research, okay? And these are the points I want you to pay particular attention to, okay? One, how is an informal letter written? Please be mindful. We are using the British kind of writing, okay? So do not be misled by the American way of writing. That is one. Two, I want you to also
Teacher Debbie, we can't hear you. Is it me or everyone else?
Everyone.
hear me now.
Yes,
yeah,
teacher.
now we can hear. You're back.
I want the students to pay particular attention to a few things. That is why I am not giving them an already done letter. I want you to, first of all, do research, more research on informal letters. But I am emphasizing that you should know we are using the British way of writing. So British English is different from American English. You should not be misled by the American style of writing, okay? Two, how different is an informal letter from a formal letter? So as you do your research, you need to pay particular attention to those two things. Then lastly, your language. The question we have as activity number 2 or B is write a letter to your friend telling them about a market you have been to. You may include a list of 5 things that attracted your attention most during the visit. Use the correct vocabulary and punctuation to make your letter interesting. Please, that point there, okay? What is going to make your letter different? It is the language that you'll use, the words that you'll use, how you punctuate, okay? So the last bit says, you may use the internet to study how informal letters are written. And I am emphasizing that as you research, pay attention to the letter being in the British style, okay? Because we are using British English, okay? And I need you to also find out the difference between an informal letter and a formal letter, okay? So I hope the assignment is very clear. So do we have more questions?
Yes, we do. I think people's hands are still up. Nachigude
Okay.
Gladys. Nachigude, you can unmute.
Oh, Charles, I forgot to put on my
Charles, wait for Nachigude. Chirabo Hope. Do you have a question, Chirabo Hope? So if you don't have a question,
Let me say something as we wait for those girls to come in.
Okay.
Just a reference, as you do your research, you can also, some of you own these copies of Practical English Book 1, written by Ogundipe. Most people call them Ogundipe. It's Practical English Book 1, the red one, Ogundipe. When you check page 223 up to 225, there is something about personal letters. Practical English, Ogundipe. Practical English Book 1, 223 to 225. You will not find that book online. You can only find a hard copy. It's never online. You won't find it there. And then secondly, I think Teacher Debbie mentioned it, or maybe I missed it. We should pay attention to the length of the letter. It is, for classwork, the letter should not go beyond 1 page. It should be 1 page. So always maintain 1 page of A4. When we talk about 1 page, we are talking about A4. Those are black books, the pages in there. So it shouldn't be longer than that. Everything should appear on 1 page. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Teacher Julie. Teacher Irene.
yes, I was off network. Sorry for that.
No, it's okay. Could you just talk to us about how we write the dates?
We write the date. We shall write, maybe, let me take an example. We shall write first. We write the ST at the same. We are not going to power the ST. Then we write the month beginning with a capital letter, maybe August, capital A. Someone mentioned that. Then we put a comma, and then we write the year 2020, full stop. The full stop has to be there since we've already punctuated with a comma. So we continue punctuating till with the full stop still at the end. That's how you write first, August, comma, 2020, full stop. But we don't power the ST, the ND, the C, the TH. Yeah, that's how we write our dates.
Okay, so excuse me, teacher, the assignment 2, what if one wrote during the last holidays? I don't know whether what you wrote is what we have learned. Okay, so you may need to redo this, okay? Teacher, is the date written under the address? Yes, the date is written under the address. We actually skip a line thereafter. Okay, so Teacher Irene, there are still hands. Girls, are your hands up because you were asking? Hope, are you asking?
Ario,
Excuse me,
Esther.
teacher.
Yes.
Excuse me, I had a question. Where do we write the signing off? Like lots of love. Where do we write it?
Left
Which
hand side.
direction?
Left hand side where your address is. Okay.
Excuse me, teacher. I thought the address was on the right upper corner of the paper.
No, that is why you're going to need to research, because the letter we have looked at is the wrong letter that we need to rearrange. Okay.
Yes, yes. Oh,
so you will read your note and then rearrange the letters. So I want to make sure you have understood by seeing that you have written the letter properly. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Our default.
I have two questions. Okay, one is when you say don't power the ND for like second, did you mean like you just put 2 and you don't put that ND up there?
Whatever is supposed to be forward comes on the same line as the figure. For example, first. So you will write 1 and an ST on the same line, not above.
Okay, so they should be on the same level.
Yes.
Okay, my second question is after the date, do you leave a space before writing the salutation?
No, you go to the next line. Remember, we said the only line that we skip is the one between your address and the date. Okay?
So you have to skip a
Do
line.
not skip any other line thereafter.
Okay.
But we'll see from the sample after you people have tried out on your own. Okay?
Thank you.
Lunkuse, Cynthia? Cynthia, are you asking?
No.
Namalwa, Pamela, Cynthia, could you please lower your hand?
Teacher, that question, the second question which you gave us, you already gave it to us last holiday, and I already did that work. So should I repeat it?
Were you following what we have taught today?
Yes.